Hi Neha, good evening.
Good evening, Ayushree. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Great.
Great to have you, Neha, with us on the Vidphone show today, and
Thank you
very
very much.
excited for this chat with you and Preeti. We'll start shortly. Before let Preeti also join, and I just want
Sure.
to let you know that we are now live. As soon as we go live on Vidphone on all our social media channels, that is on
Okay.
LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So please feel free to invite your networks to even join through that in case they are not
Perfect.
available to join. And Akil, my colleague, would share all the links on the comments for the live sessions also. So
Sure,
you
sure.
can share accordingly.
Yeah,
Yeah. We'll just start in a bit, Neha. We'll just
yeah.
wait for people. Yeah.
I was just wondering, Ayushree,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Mhm.
since we both are from the mentoring background, can you add up one question which is related to how the
Yes,
importance of
will
mentoring?
will do,
Yeah.
Neha. So the questions the questions we talk about are just, I mean, on the lines of that. But it would there would be a, there. I would love to hear while you share about the role of mentors, in your
Yeah.
life, or role of mentors in your life, or how you have been, or any story where you have been a mentor uh,
Correct.
in your mentoring journey. So certainly we would touch upon that, Neha. Those are not, set these questions.
Okay.
Those are just an outline of what our talk would be about. We would, rest assured, we would keep the talk very, very candid, I would expect. Hi, Preeti.
Hey, hi.
Hi,
Can't,
Preeti. Yeah, even I can't
Yeah,
see her.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure how can I change my name though.
It's, uh, we can see your name properly, Preeti.
Okay,
That's
maybe I am not able to see. So that's I can see Neha's name. I can't see it, but wait
no,
for a
no,
second.
it's
But
fine.
we
We
can't
can
see
see your,
you as well.
yeah, we just can, we are not being able to see you, but your video might be,
You're not able to see me. Okay.
yeah,
Um,
we can
Are
see
you
your name.
backstage? Did you enter
Yeah,
the
you have to
stage?
come on stage. Yeah.
I am. It's saying go back to the stage. Backstage. I'm on the stage.
Okay. Maybe do you want to try rejoining, Preeti? It might be some issue with
Okay, I'll
your
do that.
network. Maybe. Yeah, we'll just wait for a few seconds. Meanwhile, I would like to thank everyone who has joined us today on the platform here and who are watching us live. A very good evening to all of you. We are very delighted to have Neha Shah and Preethi Guruswamy with us today to share their journeys, and their experience. They both have had incredible journeys, a little different from each other. While Neha comes from an entrepreneurial background and is currently the co-founder of Mentor My Board, we have Preeti who comes from a very technical background and is currently with Intuit. And both of them, the common factor is that they both are mentors. They both are startup mentors, and it would be very interesting to see where your journeys, would have common points. Yet, there would be so many differences, right, on your journeys, and there'd be so many learnings from both your journeys for everyone who's viewing us today. So we'll just wait for Preeti to join us back and would start the session.
Sure.
Can you see me now?
Yes,
Yes,
hi
we
Preeti,
can.
we can
Yeah,
see
I
you.
think it was the background that was causing the problem.
Okay, yeah. Very good evening, Preeti, and very happy to have you and Neha with us today. So I was just setting the tone for our talk ahead with everyone who has joined us, and I was just telling Neha that we are now live on all our social media channels too. So a lot more people are viewing us live right now instead of the only ones who have joined us here. But thank you everyone for joining us, and thanks again, Preeti and Neha, for agreeing to come to the Vidphone show. Very excited to hear about your journeys. We would keep the chat, very candid. Just want, you guys to share your experiences very candidly. Please feel free to, open up. If you feel there's something more you want to add at any point, please feel free. And we request the audience to keep their comments coming so that, we make it a very engaging session. We would take some questions at the end of the session, and that's all. So, are we good to go, guys? We'll start.
Sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, Preeti, I would like to, start the session by asking you a little bit about yourself. And, here I just want to know you personally too, not just about, what you do professionally. So, please do share with us, a little bit about yourself.
Definitely. I am an engineering leader at Intuit and I've got overall 23 years of experience in software technologies. Right, and I'm also a certified PCC coach. Uh, I largely connected to communities. One persona of me is an engineering manager or leader in this tech industry. There's another persona of me which is very much connected to the communities, right? I mean,
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
from like more than 10 years, I've been building various community in tech and non-tech.
Yeah.
And one of the communities that I am well known is Lean in Women in Tech India communities, which is basically a community sponsored and which comes under the Sheryl Sandberg's Lean In Foundation.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm also ambassador for India for Women in Tech, especially on the Lean In side that I
Yeah.
provide. So, as you said, these are the two personas that I'm majorly known of.
Yeah.
The other persona, the person's stage, that personal side, I'm obviously like any one of you, a mom, sister, more, or a wife. I see that as one of my major personal branding as well.
Yes.
Right.
Certainly.
What makes me today is myself that I bring on the table, and it's the family that has makes me stronger, and
Yeah.
the empowerment that I get and the empowerment I give back,
Yes.
uh, all are very much well connected. Right,
Yes.
so that's where I would I actually see myself in that way. I'm
Yeah.
uh, I'm very passionate about coaching part of it, and that's where as a leader I grew as a coach, and
Yeah.
now I'm a coach in
Yeah.
generally as a certified. So I'm very closely associated also to the mentoring at the startup side as well. And I'm looking at all diversity and inclusion part of it. Which lies in these concepts of them,
Yeah.
and I'm proud of where I am today from where I started.
No, thanks, Preeti, and lovely to know about your journey. It's very interesting to have you, and like you said, seeing a women in tech. We always love to interview, and plus the two personas that's blending in here. Like you said, a mentor, but not. I mean, I know you were very conscious that I would ask you founder questions, but that's what I was telling you. Please don't worry. This is about your journey. It's not necessarily about you being a founder, but the different roles you play in your journey. And there'll be so many learnings from that. And thank you so much, Preeti. We'll come back to you shortly to know more about you. Neha, coming to you, would like to know a little bit, about you as a person. Please feel free to share something with us.
Oh, thanks, Ayushree, first of all, for having me with you on this show.
Pleasure.
And just to share about my little background and my journey, what I've been through. So, I am an qualified HR. I've done my post graduation in HR, and then I've moved and I've jumped from sector to sector. So, starting with HR, then I was handling compliances, And then post that, currently I am a startup founder director. um, with my family, I have a child who is 11 years of age, more so an independent guy, because he's been seeing me that way, working day and night, so he is now more even an independent boy. Um we have a nuclear family as such. But then yes, like Preeti mentioned, even I am passionate about communities. So what I have to give back to the society is what is in my roots. So that is where I love being in various communities. I'm part of GITO, that is Jain International Trade
Yeah,
Organization,
yeah,
wherein I'm actively anchoring the zone facilitation for them. So I'm handling 3 zones for them, and then apart from that, I'm in various other several communities wherein I play an active role. So
yeah.
that is what I love to do. Mingling around with my cousins, my friends, roaming, having a chat, and traveling from places to places is what I love to do.
Okay. No,
Yeah,
lovely to know, Neha, and thanks for sharing that. And like both of you, mentioned obviously the power of communities. I think all of us know the importance today, and all of us are part of a lot of communities. In fact, right now, here being a part of this show is also being a part of the Bitcoin community. The idea of Bitcoin, a key goal is to create such communities here, where we can collaborate, work together, just support each other, and
true.
we build a community right here. So thanks a lot, and we'll come to more on communities, a little later in our conversation. Uh, Preeti, coming back to you, I just want so Preeti, now you have shared with us, two very interesting things that you do, and but here I would like to understand, how has the how did you decide that this is I mean, obviously you are a woman in tech, you are leading the engineering side at Intuit, which is very interesting, but I also would like to know how did the focus come, to become a startup mentor, to become a mentor to help startups, where did that merge? I mean, from being a leader in the technical field, how did this start? How did this journey of mentorship, of how did that happen for you?
Yeah, I think one of the things as we grow in our career as engineers or as a leader, there's a lot we work with products,
Yeah,
right? And the
yeah,
experience that we
yeah,
bring the customer base and the customer
yeah,
experiences that we bring them, right? So I bring in two angles being at the startup mentor. One is, one which I can bring in my technical skills, especially on the startups which are there on the tech side that
yeah,
I give my technical
yeah,
skills. But about all any startup, right? Also is about a lot of the skills that we have, which we also have to work through as a leadership as well.
yeah,
Be it
yeah,
conflict management, right? Time
yeah,
management,
yeah,
and as a coach, I think it becomes very important. How we manage ourselves, right? I think I focus a lot on emotional intelligence part,
yeah,
be it
yeah,
at work or while time management. There are four aspects of it, right? One is your self-awareness,
yeah,
right? Relationship awareness, self-management,
yes,
all the emotional and aspects that we bring
yeah,
right? So we basically uh, so I focus on all of these
yeah, yeah,
while I coach the startups, be it
yeah,
founders or what
yeah,
support. So it depends on what support that
yeah,
uh, uh, what I am supporting at what point of time, right? Another one is also right. A lot of people think mentoring is a lot that you share what you have experienced, but
yeah,
every time, right, mentoring or coaching, you learn a lot, right?
yes,
It is built, and each of these learnings
yeah,
is your personal experience that is built in them,
true,
right?
true,
That sort of
absolutely,
helps you to shape as a person that you uh, visualize yourself or you have the vision. Right?
yes,
So I think that's where that's where it inspires me uh,
yes,
to actually look at the mentoring styles. And some of the problems are so So uh, each challenges is very nice to learn about and also coach about, and you
Yeah.
learn so many things. And I think
Yes.
I to be honest, Ayushri, I actually started this because one of my in my network somebody asked, hey, can you actually mentor this? And it
Yeah.
started like one of conversation, and I thought there's a lot that I can
Why
bring
not?
from my experience and also share as as well.
Exactly. No, absolutely amazing, Preeti. And I think you have made some very key points there, that sharing that knowledge that you have gained, we always hear that, right? Resharing, the ripple effect basically, it goes to so many people. And and it, obviously someone is learning from your experiences,
Yeah,
right?
and
And
just to add that, and I wanted to actually bring, and the key value that I believe in is also the sharing, and it goes back to the roots as well, right?
yeah,
Like Neha was also saying, some of these aspects are also at the root part of it, right? One of the things that my mom always used to say this to me actually, right? Preeti, what you become tomorrow or how much you earn tomorrow, right, is definitely something that you would add it to your value. That
yeah,
you could
yeah,
gain knowledge with n number of degrees, but
yes,
what you share
share,
is where you learn your experiences. And being a coach or mentor at a startup, I think I get a lot of learning. And
yeah,
even on LinkedIn, one of the things that I share is as a hashtag is Preethi Anubhavichandra, wheel of experience, Preethi's wheel of experience, right?
okay,
Reason
okay,
I
yeah,
do that is because is there so much that we learn, and
true, true.
we can share.
Yes. Yes, yes. No, thanks, Preeti. And this is the idea, of what we are doing here also, to hear from you guys and for you guys to share your experiences. And in turn, now Preeti and you and Neha here would also know so much about each other today, right? I mean, you'd have takeaways from each other's experiences too. We would have from both your experiences. And another key point, Preeti, you touched upon is also the personal side, like, I mean, taking those points also into play while you are acting as a mentor to someone. Because I think at a lot of times when an entrepreneur speaks, they forget about self. I mean, it's not just they tend to just talk about the business side of things, but ultimately it's very important that they focus on self too, which will ultimately drive the business also. I mean, there has to be that balance. So thanks, Preeti. Lovely, knowing from you. Neha, coming to you, I have a little bit of a different question for you now, because I know you have founded your own company, and and the journey is a little different, right? Obviously, you are a mentor, and that remains the same between you and Preeti. But I mean, be a founder of a company, and so I just wanted to know, how has that experience been, or because entrepreneurship is not, very easy. So how that shift, what were you doing before this? Were you in a stable job, a corporate career? What was the shift to entrepreneurship like? A little bit about that, and what inspired you to be an entrepreneur?
Wow. So truly speaking, Anushree, this shift was not what I had thought of, or this just came by the way, and I took it or I accepted it. So
Yeah,
I was very happily doing my HR role.
yeah,
I was with Kotak Life Insurance earlier,
yeah,
and then Future Group.
yeah,
So I did 5 years of around my corporate experience,
yeah,
and then got married and had a kid. And once I had my kid, then I had to take that sabbatical, and then was thinking about that, I couldn't join the job, like the 9 to 7 jobs.
yeah,
So then this thing just came into my mind, that what next, what am I going to do now?
yeah,
So slowly I started searching for something that could interest me, because
yeah,
that is, HR was one thing which was predominant in my mind, and I didn't knew
yeah,
what else I am going to do.
yeah.
So slowly I started searching for it, started teaching kids, but then didn't find my passion into it.
Got it.
Post that, I moved with my business partner. She is a company secretary,
Yeah, yeah,
and then slowly started working on compliances of companies with her. So entered that field.
Yeah.
worked there with her since past 11 years, and now we
Yeah.
both are together in this entrepreneurial journey, the startup journey as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wherein in 2017, when almost 3 lakh directors were disqualified just for not filing the returns for past 5 years, right? So that was the reason that triggered us, that we are working with those directors, we are working with SME and MSME segment,
Yeah.
but then we still are not being able to create that impact to them. And
Got it.
then we started thinking about what value add we can give to our directors or
Yeah.
to the SME and MSMEs whom we are working with. And that is where this idea or the concept of Mentor My Board came into my
Yeah.
co-partner's mind, and then we started working towards it. And this has been the journey behind the startup entrepreneurship, the
Yeah.
launch of Mentor My Board,
Yeah.
basically.
No, thanks, Neha. And I would say a very interesting, concept, mentor my board, and a very different one. Even when
Yeah,
I spoke to you for the first time, because generally, whenever we hear about mentorship circles or mentorship, groups, it's generally a mentor or a startup founder, something like that, or a business owner, a leader.
true.
But this, targeting directors and creating a group right there, and it's very crucial. Ultimately, they form the company, and
Yes.
having their things in place, their legal stuff in place, or just I mean, what you guys are doing is amazing, really, and
So
putting
there
that.
are almost 7 crore SMEs and MSMEs in India
Yeah.
currently.
Yeah.
And that is the segment wherein it is untouched. They are not
Exactly.
aware about their roles and responsibilities
True.
as a director.
True.
Definitely, their business skills are amazing,
True.
no
True.
doubt on it. But then, your role as a director, how do you protect yourself? What are
Exactly.
the safety nets around you as a director? Is
Yeah.
what we focus on, right?
Yes.
So that
Yes.
is where we are creating that difference.
Yes, Neha. No, and a very niche, I would say, but a very important one, and a big market, right? I mean, there's a big market there, where you guys have managed to tap in, and very happy to be a part of your journey going ahead, and work together. But yes, so Preeti and Neha, lovely hearing from you until now. And here I would also, because both of you have mentioned, the personal part of it, and how both of you are mums too. And it's so amazing to hear how you both of you have mentioned the mum part of you guys, because we are just going to launch this initiative after today's Vidphone show, that we would be talking to mums, from, because this is there's Mother's Day, and actually we are collaborating with a very amazing a photographer. She's a photographer by profession, but is a founder of
Okay.
this initiative called Mum, which is the United Mums Mothers Movement. And where the idea is to really get mothers from different fields together.
Wow.
You might be working, you might be an entrepreneur, or you might be a leader somewhere, or you might be a stay at home mom. But to share your journeys, to create that safe space, and to know, tell you that it is okay. There's no right or wrong, in the journey of a mother. So it was, so I just wanted to share this in between our conversation, because this is something we are launching, and would love to have you guys be a part of it, talk to us, and just share it with your networks too, because
Definitely.
yes. So moving on, Preeti, I would, now ask you, maybe now we know a little bit about, your journey as in the technical field, then as a startup mentor, and what inspired you to, choose these fields. So here, Preeti, I would also like to know, maybe, a story about one or two customer experiences, or mentee experiences that you recollect, and which has helped you, say that yes, what you are doing, it's just helping someone, just making you feel more confident about the work you are doing, or inspires you to do this even better. Anything that you want to share with us, one or two experiences?
Yeah, I think I'll share two experiences from the things that I do, especially from
Yeah.
where I was working at Intuit, and how it feels when you really meet a customer,
Yes.
and when you're not ready to meet a customer as well, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
I think as an engineering leader, there's a lot that the software technology that we build,
Yeah.
keep customers as our forefront, and we build all the experience that's important for them, right?
True.
And this it so happened for me that I was visiting US, and it was one of the product that I was managing, engineering managing. It was a tax product that I was managing actually, and the taxi driver who was like, was there, and we were having a casual chat, and he was like, he said, "Oh, the tax product that you gave is so helpful for me, and thanks for what you've been doing
Yeah.
for so long." And his thanks actually came in with a lot of gratitude he had,
Yes.
right? A lot of people are behind a particular product that when it goes to the customers, it's
True.
not just one person behind it, right? And taking the weightage of all the people when somebody can give gratitudes to you is also very heavy on your shoulder. But it's the proudest moment that you can get, especially when you give uh, that experience. I mean, until you talk to them, is that
True.
you won't know what experience. And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah. Yeah.
many organization and even in my current organization, we connect with our customers very frequently. We call them as quarterly
Yes.
meetings, and we do that. So I think for any business, for it to be successful, you need to first think from the customer's point of view versus how can I make things happen, right?
Yes.
Your employees come first, and then the customer comes. And that way, you will be a successful business. Another story about my own coaching and the mentee part of it.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting. It was this is the start of my coaching journey. Um, one of my coachee, she just came to me, and she was debating on starting her entrepreneurial journey, right? And I know it like closer to the Mother's Day and all of that. And she was a mom, and she had taken a break, and she's gone to US, and she's been settled there,
Uh,
and then now her children are like around and their teens, and now she wants to get back, and she was like struggling with all these personas with her, like,
yes.
how do I get back? And of course the coaching happened, and I keep saying this very much for all my coaches when they come to me, like, the actual coaching happens outside the coaching
Yes.
session, right?
Yeah.
And it was an amazing journey that I had with her. And after a few months, she came back to me, and like, while she was in she started. She
Yeah.
was a yoga personal trainer, and she started her own entrepreneurship, which she was so proud of.
Yeah.
She actually came back to me and said, I think the tools
Yeah.
that she learned during this journey, and the way she implemented it as
Yeah.
she went ahead was very beneficial. And as I said, and in both the experience, Ayushri,
Yes.
what I'm bringing is your feed. It's not feedback. Basically, if you feed forward about how it has helped them,
True.
right?
True.
And being
Absolutely.
part of that success
Yeah.
is what inspires you and empowers you to do more.
True. True. No, true, Neha, and I think that keeps you going, right? That's why I find this question very interesting, and it's so interesting to hear, so many different experiences, because when I ask this question, also, I don't generally say it has to be from your, professional journey. It might be, sometimes I do say customers, but it might be anything, that you would want to share that has left an impact on someone and has helped them professionally or personally. And like you said, Preeti, customer validation, that's very crucial today, while we are building a product or a service, taking that feedback, and actually iterating our product to actually help them, taking their feedback into account and actually being helped to solve their problems is the way to go, right? We cannot be numb about it anymore, not see and just keep building. So, very key points, Preeti, and thanks for sharing that with us. Lovely hearing both the stories, and kudos to your success on both. Yeah. So, Neha, coming back to you, same question here, Neha. Something you want to share. I'm sure as a part of Mentor My Board also, you work with so many directors every day. Your entire journey is about mentoring. But please feel free to share something from your journey, two instances, one or two instances, where you feel that you have made that impact. to someone's life, or help them succeed.
Sure. So here I would like to mention that there's this curated learning course that we started
Yeah.
on 16th of September. Actually, we conducted a Women Directors Conclave that
Okay.
was at BSE, the Bombay Stock Exchange,
Mm-hmm.
and that event was graced by our Honorable FM Ma'am Nirmala Sitaramanji.
Yeah. Yeah.
There she launched a course by the name of WOM.
Hmm.
WOM is Women on Management and Boards, right?
Got it. Yeah.
And this course has been up and running since then. It's a 3 months curated learning basically for the participants.
Yeah.
So now, when we started with the first batch of
Hmm.
this course, there were around eight girls or eight ladies, I would say, who were senior managers or maybe proprietors who are into their businesses,
Yeah.
and they joined in for this particular course.
Of course. Yeah.
Uh, I being the founder director, and I was the change mentor for them.
Yeah.
So I used to actually help them, handhold them,
Yeah.
answer to their queries, or possibly understand what they are uh, looking forward for
Yeah.
under the
Yeah.
training modules,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
So while they were going through that entire session, and they were completing their courses, this was the best experience I think I had, being the
Yeah.
change mentor for them,
True.
helping around solving their issues or understanding the basics, what they would face in their current professional challenges that they are facing currently. So
Yeah.
these are the things that I would hold on to for a lifetime, and that
Yes.
is where creating a difference makes you feel so good about it.
Yes. Yes.
So now we are in the third batch, and
Okay.
people keep coming back and telling us that this is a course that you've created just to enable us, to empower us. Though
Yeah.
there is no need for women empowerment, I feel, but
Yeah.
then it's just a hand holding, just a nudging,
Yeah.
just brushing up for them, and to make them feel comfortable to be there and make their
Yes.
voice heard in the workplace.
Yes, exactly. I think it's also crucial, to create that safe space where at least they can come and, share. And then obviously,
Yes,
I mean, it does make a difference. Maybe not to us where we are already, a step above that level, but to a
right.
lot other women, who are just maybe coming into this circle, who are just trying to network, trying to find that safe community where, they can share more, they can learn. So Neha,
So not only under me being a change mentor, but then when they learned
yes,
between themselves, like the
exactly. The
peer-to-peer
peer
learning
learning,
that they
peer
did.
learning. Yes,
So from B-town cities, they get so much of confidence when they
yes,
talk, when they network with
yes,
women from the metro cities. So
yes.
that is one thing that has made a major shift or change in our goal.
Yes, no, certainly. And a lovely word, Neha, the change mentor. I saw it on your profile also. So, a very interesting take on the word, the adjective you have added. So,
Right.
lovely to know that. And like you said, Neha, I think the peer mentoring is very crucial, especially, especially in the tier two cities, there's so much talent, I feel. But
True.
in the metros, there's a lot happening, right? I mean, there will
Correct.
be so many support groups, so many platforms to
There are
network.
so many networking events that are
Exactly,
happening
so
out
many,
here,
but
but then in the B towns there are not that
exactly.
many opportunities for them to come together,
Come
or
together. True, true. And that's why I think obviously online video is a very good medium also, to for that connect between everyone. And also
for
the
sure.
peer learning, like you today, what you have gained, and what Preeti was also saying in the beginning, you're sharing your experiences with them makes you a role model entrepreneur for them, right? Entrepreneur leader, I mean, your journey. So with that, I would come to the next question, which is on role models or mentors in your life, in your journeys, who has been pretty, please feel free to share about, one or two people, or I always say one or two people, and the speaker always tells me we can it's very hard to share about, one person who has made an impact in your life. Or so, I'm just telling it, but please feel free to share about, someone who has made that impact, who has been a role model to you, a role model, a mentor, might be a professional, connect, or a personal connect, anything. Please feel free to share about that.
Yeah, I think there, as you rightly said, Ayushree, there are like many who
Yeah.
actually shape you, make you during these this
True.
the journey that
Yes.
you
Yeah.
go through. I think I'm very thankful, and I think first of all, would say I have a lot of gratitude to all my coaches and mentors who are there
Yeah.
in my life, right? And one of the, I think at a start with, for me, I think as I told the beginning also, right? A lot of things comes on the value system that you're built on.
Yeah.
And for me, my mom is will definitely. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us will say, "Who's your role model?" We say mom,
Yeah.
and which is true. And and somebody said that, I recently was coaching a woman to speak somewhere, and
Yeah.
she said, I have to answer this question as role model. Who's my role model? I can't think of anybody apart from mom. It feels like, uh, can we bring in? But I was like to her,
Yeah.
no. I mean, if you can't think of, and she's your role model, and same it's
True.
true for me. And as I said, even my hashtag, which I talked about,
Yes.
where
Yes.
it also goes back to the value that she had told me, like, as you, the more you share is where you, the experience that you share is where you learn, right? So, and also she was a working woman,
Yeah.
and she always said that, couple of things that she said that I love today is, share my experience, as I said, that I have. And another one is, as a woman, a lot of, I mean, I'm talking about women when we earn, right? While
Yeah.
we know
Yeah.
some women are housewife, but even people who are earning don't know how to manage their finances. So
Yeah.
she mentioned basically to me that you would earn, right? That doesn't make you independent,
True.
right?
True.
What makes
True.
you
Yeah.
independent
Yeah.
is your mindset,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
If you're a housewife and or you are earning woman, what important is you're independent by your mindset, not
Yes.
financially as well. And
Yes.
if you're earning, you, whether be it a housewife or you be a
Yeah.
person who earn,
Yeah.
always learn how you manage your finance.
True. True.
Right? One of the things that we don't do is we don't manage our finance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Recently,
Yeah.
I was looking at the survey.
Mm.
Okay, and in one of the surveys said that only 1% of the working women
Yeah.
manage finances.
True. True.
Okay,
See, and these
so
are working means, they're earning also, so they're financially independent. Yeah, but still,
financially
yeah.
independent, only 1% manage the finances, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, I mean, living back, and all of these she taught me at the beginning, which kind of shaped me and what we
True.
are. So, she's
True.
definitely one of my role models. There were a
Yeah.
lot of mentors that I respect.
Yeah.
When I was in the early career in Oracle, I had my director and also another VP who was there. Both of them were women. Okay, and at the early career, I was like, okay, if I be, I want to be them. Reason
Yeah.
because what they were exhibiting as a leader
Yeah.
was, the emotional intelligence part of it, which I'm telling, right? Very
Yeah.
self-aware. They knew how to lead a team with empathy,
Yes.
right? And I think that and everything that they did is what I learned, and today I try to, you know,
Yeah.
uh, make sure I have bring that in my team's experience or the human community that I run for women in tech. So I think uh, all these women have been a great mentors and
Yes.
role models. And one person, not the least, is my spouse who stands behind me and pushes me, and who's my critic, as well as somebody who empowers me to do. There are times when I say I'm not going to do it. He will be like, "Come on," right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is something you can always do it, and I think, yeah, and he was my mentor as well. And I generally say that, yeah, it's not good to marry a mentor, but in my case, maybe he was somebody who was helping me when I started my career as well. So, but I think the journey that you
Yeah.
share with your spouse, and they help you to be your role model, right? So,
True.
I
True.
think that plays a very
Yeah.
critical.
Yeah. And that critic is also very important, because only someone, like that, who's at that level with you, that relationship, I think would be able
And
to, criticize you also openly. Because for an outsider, it's still, there's still that gap where how you take it, I mean, you might not take it that well from an outsider, even if we all say, feedback is important, critics are important, but still there's some, that thing, nudge that's there when it comes from an outsider. But very key points, Preeti, like you said, and we had a, we have this discussion on most of our shows where we talk, because we are doing this women centric shows, right, where we are talking about a women's journey. And this financial independence and women empowerment, what you just spoke about, they are not necessarily related. A woman might be financially independent, but she might not still be empowered. Like you said, only 1% is an alarming rate if you see, and even if sometimes she might not be, earning her own money, and still she takes the major decisions in the house, or manages the finances, or, has a say in the key decisions. So that's empowerment. So I think, the communities we are building, the communities we are a part of, the generations that, we see ahead of us. I mean, these are also very key learnings, that needs to be talked about. Like you said, your mother talked about it. That's why, today it came to you, it has shaped you, and I'm sure you'd pass it on to your kids, to your mentees, to your community. So again, that flows. So, thanks, Preeti. And the last point about empathy, that's again very crucial as leaders today. I'm sure Neha would also agree, being a founder of a company, your employees, the way you deal with your employees is very important, because, they make your business basically,
So not only employees, Ayushree, I
yeah,
would say it is the
everybody.
entire
Yeah,
ecosystem
of
that is
course, true,
around you.
true, true,
You need to
true.
be empathetic to them,
Exactly.
otherwise it
Yeah,
doesn't work.
true, true. Now, that you have to think about, what the other person, you have, might be in their position too. I mean, that's very crucial to move ahead in collaboration, basically,
True.
together. Thanks, Preeti. Very lovely points there, and it has been an amazing conversation with both of you. Neha, your thoughts, something that, role models you would want to, speak about, who has been very, crucial in your journey.
So I would start from where Preeti stopped, or the last point. My husband, who is my best critic and my best supporter as
Yeah.
well, though he is not my mentor, but he is the one who would certainly push me till the till the neck for doing things around,
Yeah.
for going around, or for handling the issues. So he is the one whose support, without whose support, it would be really impossible for me to be where I am today. Another mentor in my life. So we are surrounded with mentors basically, because our entire platform is full of mentors, mentees, and corporates.
Yes.
So I would say I have so many mentors around me. Each one of them has been adding so much value and so much, uh, you know. Uh, you can say they've been adding to the knowledge and the value that you carry forward for. So yes, these are the few people around us who are actually advising us, guiding us, hand holding us, and who play a key important role in the on the platform of Mentor My Board as well. So they all are like a role model to me, because they've been experts in their own fields.
Yeah.
Apart from that, my personal mentor is Sudha Murthy. So she is the one whom I look up to, and I aspire to be like her someday.
Yeah.
So being
No. Yes.
grounded, giving back to the society is what is at the core of her values, and
Yeah.
that is what I would love to do as well.
Yeah. No, thanks, Neha. Very crucial how you said, and what you said, and Preeti also touched upon it, where she ended the empathy, for your entire, and for the entire ecosystem, and because, and like
True.
you said, mentors also at different stages of your journey. There might be different people, who impact you,
Yes.
who can be a
Yes.
role model. Their stories might inspire you. Like I'm
Sure.
sure today, while you both are sharing, there's someone who's viewing us. Maybe even if it's one person, who has gained something from each of your journey, that's impact, right? That's impact at some level.
Correct.
Somebody would be able to, feel inspired by what you guys are talking about today. So
And
lovely.
my partner has been my biggest mentor because she was the one who pulled me from my expertise
Exactly.
domain to compliances, and now from compliances to moving on towards actually handling a startup and managing through it. So
Yes.
she is the one who is behind my entrepreneurial journey
Yes.
entirely.
Yes. No, Neha, it was lovely meeting Divya the other day too. I'm sure,
Yeah,
you know, and seeing both of you form such a beautiful, company. So
thanks.
yes, kudos to that. Yeah. So, Preeti and Neha, we have, I think, touched upon a very few key things about your journeys, the sectors, mentors, your customers, or your mentees, who has your role models. Maybe now a very crucial thing is coming. I would want to touch next are the challenges. What do you guys what anything that you'd like to share on challenges? Your major challenges. While in your personal life, while you are trying to juggle so many things, being a mom, being a working mom, or anything in your professional fields that you see daily, that you feel there can be solutions, or solution needs to be talked upon. Yeah, please feel free to share on that.
Yeah, I can go. I think I'm a mom of a 3-year-old, and I think she keeps definitely me on toes. Right, while you have so many personas that you do
Yeah.
it. I know because it's Moms Day. Probably I would share this to all the moms with a key challenge, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're working or whether you're a housewife. Right, it doesn't matter, right? I think one of the things that we not to go into a guilt trap,
Yeah.
right? I think that's one of the biggest challenge, especially women get into, and how do you avoid that guilt trap?
Yes.
Right, is have envisioning yourself. What do you, I think a lot of time we live in our past, and it's true with me too, right? It's very difficult for us to get away from our past, but I think we need to live in our future. So what shapes us is why we envision a future, right?
Yeah.
And and the moment you live in the past, there are multiple challenges that you get into. One is your time management, your bill trap, and all of that, right? So I think very importantly, I would personally would say that for anybody, and I think that's one of my focus on my coaching goal. So you need to look inside and look outside and envision the future for you, right? And that's very important aspect of any of the challenges that you
Yeah.
actually face as such, right? And second part, and I think this is where I would say is a ruthless prioritization and on your time management, right? And in that, make sure, right, you give at least 1 hour for yourself completely, right? One of the things that we ignore is not giving ourselves the time, and I think that was a major challenge when I became a mom. And while I've had like a successful career and never taken a break, now I need to take a break, right? All the time became, I mean, and you want to perform at the same level what you were before. And I think having that self compassionate on yourself,
Yeah.
right? And I think, and looking forward, moving ahead, looking forward, have a forward looking path for yourself, is very important. I think most of the challenges, I and it's not that I don't forget every day. I do forget. So one of the way I have is I've envisioned myself, and I have a small picture that I have drawn about what I
Yeah.
look at the future, right? And I keep it in front of me so that it helps me,
Yeah.
right? Because it's very easy to get in the grind of your day-to-day things, right?
True. True.
Uh,
Yeah.
the entrepreneurial challenges will be,
Yeah.
finding clients for yourself, and having that partnership with your co-founder, your investors. There's so many relationships that comes in as an entrepreneur, and the same goes in terms of your leadership journey. family, and the same goes in your personal life, right? And I think managing yourself, and that's why I touch a lot on emotional intelligence, right? Having
Yeah,
self-awareness, self-management, and social awareness in relationship. I think
yeah,
this was run by Daniel Carnegie, Daniel in the emotional intelligence space, and I truly believe in it. And
yeah,
for me, these has been a key. For me, time management has been, and one of the things that I do is ruthless prioritization. It's okay to say no.
yes, yes,
At at the very beginning, I was really struggling to say no,
yeah,
because the moment you say no, you're saying yes to many things.
true, true,
That's very important for yourself.
yes,
And I think that, and as I said, whatever you're doing, giving yourself that 1 hour for
yeah,
yourself,
it's very
right,
crucial.
is
Yeah,
very important. And
yeah,
announce it to the world, announce it to your family,
yes,
right? And I'm telling you, I've seen this. The family will be the first people who will help you to spend that 1 hour, actually.
yes, yes,
But they won't help you to do unless and until you don't make an announcement. And I've
yes.
seen in the workspace also, they also give you that time. Because if you don't make that announcement, nobody will give you that time.
Yeah.
So announce that, right? This is my space.
No, no, certainly, Preeti, and very key points there. Like you said, and this, like I was sharing with you both the mums initiative, the mums show, where it's about women, but the focus is on mums. So that is also, to talk about things like this, the guilt which comes, the time management, it's okay. I mean, and there might be different types of mums who have taken a break, maybe, when their kid was born, or moms who have not taken a break, continued to juggle the careers and their work. So it's really your choice. It's your choice, and there's no right or wrong here. And also, like you said, it's very important to say no, and also seeks help if required. Delegate. You don't have to do everything yourself. It's okay to ask for help, so that whatever you are doing, at least you can be the best at it, or at least do it, can justify it. So thanks, Preeti, and I'm sure these challenges are common to a lot of women, and I have seen there's some similarities between the many women I speak to every day. And before this, I was also working. Like the last 4 years, I have been working with women entrepreneurs. In another platform where we used to help them start up and scale up their businesses. So we used to see a lot of these points. So I'm very happy that today we are talking about it, addressing it in communities such as this. And I'm sure together we'll be able to raise more awareness in this, and many women would be able to benefit and actually just talk about it and feel that it's okay. Yeah, Neha, coming to you, what would any challenge that you would like to talk about, and also if you have already, done something, I mean, you have been able to mitigate it, and you would want to, tell others that this is a way that has worked for you, or you want, I mean, anything, any 2 or 3 challenges that you would want to share about.
So two challenges which, though I agree to whatever Preeti said completely, the
Yeah,
time management, which is very important with all our female founders, or the female community, basically, because we are always multitasking,
yeah,
playing various roles at one particular time. So it is
yeah,
very important for ourselves to manage that time and efficiently handle things.
yes,
There is one more thing which you mentioned about seeking for help, and
yes,
that is one thing which I feel that most women shy away from. They feel
yes,
sab kuch mujhe hi karna hai, and if I am not doing it, I am the bad person. So
yes,
that is one thing which I had to combat for myself as well,
yeah,
initially, when I
yeah,
just left my job, and then my kid was growing, and then when my entrepreneurial journey was just starting, or budding entrepreneur, you can say, that time. So that is one thing which I felt, people used to make me guilty. अरे आपका बच्चा घर पे है and you're here in this seminar, or you're here in this
yeah,
event, and then I used to actually feel guilty. So it is not only us, it is the entire ecosystem around us
that's
which
what,
needs
that's
to
what,
understand that it is okay. It is okay to be a woman, to be
yeah,
a mother, to be a girl, to be a sister, a daughter, and we are playing all those roles at the
yeah,
best of our potentials. So
yes,
the one thing which I would say is just be yourself. Don't think or don't, let others opinions be harsh
Yeah.
upon yourself. That is the most important thing which I've seen women doing, and which I
Yes.
would certainly ask them not to do.
Yes.
Absolutely bang on, Neha. I know. I think I was just recently talking to one of the other communities, and one of the things that I very specifically said on what you were saying, right? The ecosystem will actually ask, question you a lot of things, and other thing is like you get into your guilt trap. But
Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
also important thing. There is a pause that you need to give yourself, and the world perceives you on your response. So
Yes.
like the way you said, the world has, and you have to show your picture on how you
Yes.
would respond. And that's why I was like saying
Exactly.
is how you envision yourself is very, very important.
Very
And that
important.
helps you in your response, right?
Yes.
And so many times, I mean, I've heard like, people at work sometimes, oh, for you, your job is your pocket money. No,
Yes.
I'm an equal person who's running my home household. Right? Just because I'm a woman doesn't mean that I'm here to
Exactly.
earn for a pocket money, right? I mean, that was a shocker when I joined in my early career that I heard about, right? Uh,
True.
and like even now my daughter is like waiting to see for me, and I'm as excited to go back to her. But I think the delegation, I have to speak to my first spouse to say that, hey, can you manage this time for me to do it?
Yes.
And I think
Yeah.
all of us, until we make that ask, that
Yes,
will not
unless we
happen.
seek for that help, people will not come
Yes.
forward. So you
Yes.
rightly
Yeah.
said that, we need to seek for it, and people
Yeah.
are ready to help us and support us.
Exactly.
But it is
And
we who need to initiate.
yes, yes, and that support system, there are a lot of I mean, these today when we talk about this, I think the times are much better than what it was, maybe, like 10 years
Sure.
back, or our, mothers, like when I see my, mother's generation, I mean,
Yeah.
things were very different. I mean, there has been a change, and there's a lot of support, from your partners, from your work circle. So it's really important to, talk to everyone, seek that support and move forward, you know.
Yeah,
True.
and
Yeah.
for the fact, Ayushree, like what Neha mentioned was right. As you said, the previous generation was like,
Yeah.
to seek that support. And I think one of the things she said, I think most of us as a woman, we were like, I have to do everything. And
Exactly.
that is ingrained because we have seen
I
our
know.
parents doing,
Yes.
right? So I
Yes.
think now, as you rightly said, we're shifting it. But I think
Shifting it.
creating that awareness becomes
Yeah.
very important. And that's why I say the response on how you want the world
Yes.
to see you
Yes.
is very important.
Yeah. So before, yeah, exactly. The response is very important, and that awareness, because before, I mean, I'm sure in the previous, like 10 years back, also these conversations might have happened, but then, the women still would feel like it's not right. If they
Correct.
are not doing this, it's not right. But that, the shift that, it's okay. It's,
Yeah.
there's no right or wrong here. I mean, that is the crucial thing, and that's the change that
And
we
that is
are.
happening, but it is
That is
slow
happening,
and
obviously.
gradual. And we
Yes,
still
that
need
is
to, ponder on it time and again, so that the
exactly.
next
And
gen
we would,
is definitely not going
yes,
to
and
face
we
these
would,
things.
keep doing it until, we, like, we don't have to, maybe, talk about this anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, because at this point, I think it's very crucial that we have these discussions,
True.
so that at least, now we are being able to talk about it, or maybe we are in a privileged space, where it's fine for, but there will be so many people who get that confidence from you guys saying it, that yes, it's okay to do it, it's okay to be a certain way. Thanks, Preeti and Neha. It has been so lovely hearing about you guys and your entire journey. At this point, before I move on, I have another question, and that would be on a little bit of communities and what we are building. But here, I would also like to invite Jagat, who's the founder of Vidphone. And, hi, Jagat.
Hi,
Yeah.
Jagat. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thanks for joining us here, Jagat. So, Jagat, you must have been seeing that we have been having a great conversation here with Neha and Preeti, and, on various things. So here, my next question, and probably that's the last question I would have. Uh, it's on the importance of community, and the importance of tools, because we are building so many communities, both and a lot of online communities now, once the world has gone, I mean, it went remote because of COVID, and then hybrid. Now hybrid is the new way to go. So the importance of communities and the importance of using tools. Preeti, you coming from a tech background, I'm sure you would vouch for that. And even Neha, you forming a company, I'm sure you would be using a lot of tools daily, to manage your team, to manage your this thing, to manage your communities. So a little bit about on that, like I would want you guys to share, and then I would also like Jagat to share, his thoughts on this. Yeah, Neha, you would
Preeti,
like
you're
to
on
talk?
mute. Yeah, I can go first.
Yeah,
So, the tools basically that we are using are like right from the CRMs to the
yeah,
recent one, that is the Chat GPT, and we've built in so many tools on the platform of Mentor My Board, which will enable and help the directors to be proficient in their roles, or to
yeah,
carry out their roles in a smoother way. So like we use so many tools day in and day out, we don't even now feel that we are using a tool. I mean, it
yeah,
is just that you use it. It is just a part of your life now. So gone are those days when we used to feel कि अच्छा कुछ करना है, okay, कहीं से कुछ plugins चाहिए, कुछ चाहिए. So gone are those days now. Now we are so well versed with all these things.
yeah,
So definitely these are few tools that we regularly use, and of course Zoom has made life super simpler now. So right from a child who is a senior junior KG child and who has attended school in COVID, now is so familiar with Zoom, and definitely now I think Vidphone, and there are so many platforms like yours who are coming into picture, and who are helping it to build in make in Bharat types of the same similar products that we are using.
yeah.
So yes, these are the few ones that we use.
I would plus one to Neha. There's so many tools, and I'll go back to what I said, Ayushree. Is one of the important thing is also building the customer experience. Today, there is so many tools that, like Neha was saying, oh, what plugin I have to do. Nobody has to worry about.
Yeah.
Nobody has to be a technology savvy to use any of these
Yes.
tools, right? And if you are a startup and you're at if you're a funding stage and you don't have the investment to these tools, there's so many free tools. Like for example, for your advertisements, you have like tools like Mailchimp and for marketings, and then there is this for. I mean, I run a community, right, and it's a voluntary based community, and
Yeah.
it's difficult to have some paid version, but we've done some fantastic stuff in terms of using some of those Canva tools or tools for building the whole the visualization for our events or anything like that, right? I mean, there's so many amazing stuff that we have.
Yeah.
There are so many amazing stuffs that we have in these tools, right? So that's definitely a lot of tools that that's available in the market. And Zoom, of course, Zoom, Google Meet. I mean, multiple platforms for any entrepreneur or anybody or any be it entrepreneur or community to grow and flourish as well.
Yes. Yes. No, thanks, Neha and Preeti. And obviously, the importance of tools is, none of us can ignore it anymore. And it's very important for startups, founders, leaders to invest in those early on. And like Preeti, you have been talking about customers, right? The customer part of it is very important. Tools where we can actually, help the customer focus tools basically. And
And your best tool is Google search. Let me tell you that. You don't have to be a tech savvy at all for
yeah.
anything. Just search what you want and get. And now the Chat GPT that what Neha is saying is beating everybody.
Yes, yes. No, certainly, and and it's good to see that both of you, are using so many tools, in your lives, and so Jagat, your thoughts, on the importance of tools and how how tools and communities can, it's ultimately uh, correlated somewhere. You are building these communities online, and what's the importance of these tools, and a little bit about. I would also because it's very important for us to also know how, because Neha has been talking about customers a lot, so a little bit from you on what we are building at Vidphone for the customer side of things. I just thought, it might be good to share with our viewers a little bit on that.
Absolutely. So now a platform, so why not? 5 minutes for us. But
Yes.
thanks to Neha and Preethi, I think it's been very enlightening to hear, your views. Um, Look, I think technology is what defines your civilization. It's as simple as that. We say we're not in the 1700s. In fact, today is like the day that in 1857, the very first Indian War of Independence, the Sepoy Mutiny, happened today. You know, Look at 1857, and today we're in 2023. 150 years. Uh, the only thing that defines this society, the humans are the same. Maybe we're a little bit shorter, and maybe we have little less attention span. But I must say that the only thing that defines us as a society is the technology around us. Right?
Yes.
It's as simple as that. So it's only natural. I mean, like Neha said, today we don't think of tools as really tools. It's something like in the olden days, the kings had scribes, right? They could not read. So they would have someone to read out the letters for them. Those days, that was technology,
Yeah.
to read English or whatever language was like. So today it's become part of who
Yeah.
all of us are.
Yeah.
Technology becomes part of who we are. We have specs and
Yeah.
various gadgets that make us,
Yeah.
mobile, of course. So yes, I think, but one of the things, like you said, is the customers, right? So today
Yes.
we are in tough times where we're probably at the worst kind of situation in 9 years as startup funding goes in India. We are back to 2014, 15. I'm a guy who's building stuff from 2010. Definitely, I did not expect this to be the situation today. It is kind of shocking. While there is a lot of optimism and all of that's happening, I personally, I was just speaking to a couple of friends of mine who are actually considering shutting down the companies, and because there's no funding and things. So I would say it's a mixed bag, technology, but
Yeah.
yes, the scenario is a mixed bag, but what's going to get you to win is technology. It's as simple as that. And even I'm seeing the people who are having trouble as founders are people who I would say are not pushing the business purely from a tech standpoint. Right? Startups by default means tech, and if you don't understand that, if that's not your DNA, then I think those companies will perish. So the more the tools, the
Jagat, I
better.
can just peep in here for a minute. So this is the very basis of directors who have been, above 70 years or so, who are still handling the boardrooms and
Yeah.
where technology is not present. So this
Yes.
is the very problem with them, that they do not have those capabilities, or you can say the mindset, to shift from where they are to the new tech savvy people that are there in the boardrooms along with
So
them. And that is where we are holding on to our corporate culture. And once this is done, or once it is, things start changing, that is where we will start creating that difference with these technological tools. And I'm sure we've heard about robots coming into boardrooms now, and robots
yeah,
coming in
we
everywhere,
have a robot
right
in the
from the
office as well.
hospitals,
Yeah,
offices, and boardrooms everywhere. So I'm sure things are changing faster than what we are expecting with the help of
absolutely.
AI and the tools that you're talking of.
Absolutely. In fact, my father, I don't know, that day I think I shared with you, he's also nearing 70. He's also a company secretary. In fact, he's a government nominee 2 times to the center, and one of the people who wrote Companies Act as well. So, I have many times I have discussion with him, corporate boardrooms and, AGMs and video conferencing and all this stuff. You know the conversations. And while I build video conferencing, I tell him, why don't you use it more? He said, no, Jagat, you don't understand. They have to come and meet me. And,
Yeah.
and, and that's very
That
important that they come
personal
from.
touch for them is more important than
Absolutely.
things getting done faster. So that is the
Me too.
difference in their ages and
No,
our
me
age.
too, I would say.
Yeah.
Neha. I mean, something that I've realized, and you'll see today, I think there was another big CEO who said that remote work, we're done. Because, though we build video conferencing, we are people at the end of the day. I think, we're not APIs. So we just can't
True.
be behind a screen, right? So
True.
there is something about energy and power of association when like minded
That
people are
is
in the
where
room.
our communities will play a very, very
Yeah.
important role in our life, and they will keep us that grounded and give us that
So
platform to rise high.
Yeah, and I think that's where the skill of networking, art of
Yeah,
networking comes into picture. And you know how much we are behind the screens. What makes us the energy and the vibes, like you were saying, right, could only come through when you meet the
exactly.
person, right? So yes, tools are there, but the touch that you get meeting the person is way different from the tools that we have in the industry. So I think we should do respect the networking and the importance of it, because most of
Yes.
our growth, all of us here, has that value of that networking that we get.
Yes. Yes. No, certainly, Preeti, Neha, and Jagat, very key points here. And completely agree with you guys, the value of uh, like an offline meeting is still stays. But like, again, what we are maybe, like Neha has, sorry, like Preeti has been saying about customers, and what you are seeing here from Vidphone also, I think it's just 10% of what we do, like what we do in the show here. We are
Actually,
building,
I just,
yeah,
if I could just come in for 1 second,
yeah,
right? So I think we're in a very interesting topic.
yeah,
And over the past, probably year and a half, probably you are aware, and Akhil's definitely aware, we've cracked it, right? The word really is serendipity.
Yes.
And that's, I love it when people speak about my competition on our platform. It's a lot of fun for me, Zoom. But, the problem with there is only Zoom fatigue. We know that. It's really not helping us in a big way.
yeah,
And if you look at why that's happening, it's because everything's about scheduled meetings. You know,
yes, yeah,
life happens unscheduled. Life happens serendipitously, especially when you look at the customer business interactions. Today I don't think there's an issue really in the collaboration. Yes, it's not as good as being in the office. We understand,
yes,
but there's a bigger problem with the customers.
yes,
Just imagine that you're back in a lockdown. Tell me any one business that's ready to face the digital customer. I don't
yeah,
think any business around the world is actually ready
yeah,
for the entire digital onboarding. Like the acquisition, the activation, the whole customer journey, completely digital, is still far fetched, and that's what we need to get to. Because once we do that, you will be looking at kind of automated customer generation.
yes,
So then businesses are in kind of what we call God mode. If we
yeah,
just leave the business, it's just going to go up slowly. The default state is going to grow. So, I mean, that's where we are heading as an
yes,
organization, and our customers. To tell you a little bit about Vidphone, I'm happy to kind of. I want to first of all thank Ayushree. I think what you've been doing from, I think, March, right? When did we start this whole initiative?
yes, yes,
I think
February.
March.
Yeah,
So
March. We started in March. Yeah,
yeah, it was the Women's Month.
Women's
So
Month. Yeah,
it's also my birthday. So I know when we started. Uh, I think we have done this for almost 2 months now.
yes,
We're not talking about this topic today. I think multiple times we said we're talking
yes,
about this
certainly.
today. No,
Yes,
we're talking about this for the past 60 days.
yeah, yeah,
And I think that's wonderful.
yeah,
But I think, yeah, now we have to really, as Indians, I think I'm very, I don't know, for some reason, I'm just really patriotic guy. Right? I love my country. I don't like too many things from outside here. Uh, we owe it to a lot of people here. 600 million people in India below 25 years old. That's just staggering. Like, we don't think about it enough. And if all they see is gloom and doom, then I think we have not done a good job.
yeah,
So it's very critical now. I think the next 2 quarters, uh, as a country, as founders, to kind of to shun the pessimism, the negativity that's all over the world, right? We have the recession, we have all kinds of things going off. But I think, yeah, now I'm sure women are going to play a very, very big part in that. So that's something special about India as well. Right? I think
yeah,
this is something very, very special about India.
yes.
So
No,
Thank you,
Jagat.
Jagat.
No, certainly, and that's what I was coming at too. What we are building at Vidphone, it's not, like we also in this discussion and in many previous discussions, we spoke about how, uh, uh, thinking from the customer's point of view, and we have been iterating the product too. And today, where we are, we have a full stack, where we can actually, you can do carve your entire customer journey through the platform. So
you
I
can run
don't
your
have,
business. You
yeah.
can run your business on one screen. So,
Yes. So exactly. And so that's important, and actually building these communities right here on the platform, right? I mean, that's the key. So and I think, with people like, Neha, Preeti, everyone, and and all the stellar women, men who we have part of the community, we'll be able to take the mission forward. So thanks, Neha. Thanks, Preeti. Thanks, Jagat. It has been a wonderful conversation, and looking forward to collaborate with you guys in a lot of more ways in the future and take the mission ahead. Thank you again for joining us today, and thank you to all our viewers. This the recording will be available on the same link in case you guys want to share it across. Please feel free to share it across, and very interesting talk again. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Ayushree and Jagat.
Thank you so much.
thank you, Ayushri and Jagat, for creating this
Pleasure.
platform. It's wonderful
Pleasure
meeting.
to have you with us.
Thank you, Neha, to be.
Pleasure is ours too. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye,
you.
Preeti.
Bye.
bye,
Bye.
bye, Ayushri and Jagat. Bye.